Hi, is everybody there? Let's pray in silence, please. Amen. In the name of Lord Jesus Christ, we shall continue our study. Before we study, we shall sing a hymn, 364. 364. Now, let's follow the piano and sing it. Oh Lord, to my God, I want to serve myself. I shall not no, I will serve my God, I might not see the best, that I might not see, that I might not see, by you. Verse 4, last verse. In the name of Jesus Christ, we shall continue our sharing. We are sharing the structure. The purpose of understanding structure is that you, in the future, you are able to know roughly what this book is talking about. Like I said, every letter has a theme, have its purpose, have its major purposes. So 2 Corinthians, really, Paul tried to share about his hearts, his missionary, his defense toward the church. Yeah. So we talk about suffering and comfort, why he changed his schedule, and we talk about his missionary. We talk about his missionary come with the aroma, the difference between New Testament missionary versus Moses missionary. The attitude of missionary is bold, not lose heart, and we believe, so we speak. Yeah, so far we have gone through this, right? Now let's talk about let's turn to chapter 5. Now, chapter 5, verse 1 to verse 10, actually, it is continuation of his belief, therefore he speak. What is his belief? His belief is that we shall resurrect in the future. We believe, therefore we speak. This is our attitude. And resurrection, therefore, you talk about chapter 5, verse 1 to 10, talk about earthly tent and heavenly tent. Because when you resurrect, you are going to have to obtain the heavenly tent. Okay? Chapter 5, verse 11 to verse 21, this is the missionary of reconciliation. Missionary of reconciliation, 11 to 21. Let's read chapter 5, verse 11. 5:11. Now I got the roster already. Esther Ho. Here's for 11.
Chapter 5, verse 11. Oops. Chapter 5, verse 11. Therefore, not fear of the Lord, we persuade others, but what we are is known to God, and it is known also to your conscience.
So 我们劝你们，所以劝人 we persuade. So here started from 劝, persuade, or implore, or encourage. Esther, continue reading verse 20. Verse 20.
Verse 20. Therefore we are ambassadors for Christ, God making his.
I think it's difficult for you to read, huh? Verse 20. As an ambassador of Christ, 就好像神借着我们劝你们 just like God used to implore you, to plead you, to reconcile with God. 求你们与神和好 reconcile with God. Hey, counselor, how many people can understand Mandarin? What is the survey?
85%.
Oh, that's good. So sometimes I can use Mandarin. Thank you. So it starts from 劝, persuade. In English word, it's not persuade. What word is that? In verse 11, Esther, English word 劝是什么？英文是什么？
The ESV version says persuade.
It says persuade.
Yeah, ESV.
Okay. And then verse 20 also implore, persuade. And we plead you to reconcile with God. So this is the ministry of reconciliation, from persuade to persuade. We persuade you, we implore you, we hope that you can reconcile with God. Now Esther, your computer is bad. Ephraim Gallengrove, please read chapter 5, verse 18. 5:18.
18. Now all things are of God, who has reconciled us to himself through Jesus Christ, and has given us the ministry of reconciliation.
Yes. 一切都出于神，他借着基督使我们与神好。So through Jesus Christ, we make peace, we reconcile with God. And he also give us the missionary of reconciliation. So you can see this missionary is reconciliation. Okay? And chapter 6, this is the missionary cannot be blamed. We have this missionary cannot be blamed. Therefore, we shall act in a way worthy concern this missionary. Chapter 6, this is from verse 1 to verse 10. Missionary cannot be blamed. Verse 1 to verse 10. Let's have Vivian Chong to read chapter 6, verse 1.
Verse 1, we then, as workers together with him, also plead with you not to receive the grace of God in vain.
So please do not receive God's in vain. You and me, we plead you, 劝你们 again, 劝, right? Vivian, please read verse 3.
Verse 3, we give no offense in anything that our ministry may not be blamed.
Yes, we do nothing to offend anybody. So this ministry cannot be blamed. Then he talk about what did he do, how he suffered. He have general suffering, special suffering. He encountered something dishonor but become honor. So that the ministry cannot be blamed from verse 1 to verse 10. Then from verse 11 to and on, actually to chapter 7, verse 4, here talk about this missionary is really 口宽心宏啊，口是张开的，心是宽宏的。You really when he speak openly. He speak openly and his eyes open to the church. He did not hinder anything when he speak with this missionary. Verse 11, chapter 6, verse 11. 6:11. Shall we have Deborah from Houston? 6:11. Deborah, 6:11.
11. O Corinthians, we have spoken openly to you. Our heart is wide open.
Okay, and verse 12.
12. You are not restricted by us, but you are restricted by your own affections.
Read chapter 7, verse 4.
7. Verse 4. Great is my boldness of speech toward you. Great is my boasting on your behalf. I am filled with comfort. I am exceedingly joyful in all our tribulation.
我们大大放胆向你们说话。We speak bold to you, so you can be comforted. And so, it's from 口宽心宏, from open our heart, open our mouth to speak boldly with you. Our missionary is, again, it echoes the attitude. Attitude. We are not scared because of missionary. We speak because we believe. We are not timid because of this stewardship, this missionary, and this echo. But the content is a little bit different. This echo here, 口宽心宏, speak bold. Actually, the content is talk about you need to be. You shall not be associated with Gentiles, with unbelievers. He tried to correct them with mouth wide open, talk about not yoked together with unbelievers. This is his missionary. Now we already, this is a homework, right? Homework of Paul's missionary from chapter 2, verse 14 to chapter 7, verse 4. Please read the structure. Item number 3, right? The number in the bracket, chapter 2, verse 14 to chapter 7, verse 4, this is Paul's missionary. Then you try to break it down, like I break it down for you just now, the aroma of his missionary in chapter 2, the end of chapter 2, right? The missionary in the New Testament verse, the missionary in the Old Testament, chapter 3, right? And the attitude of missionary, his attitude is what? Boldness, because of hope, not timid because of stewardship, and because of belief. He believe in resurrection. And chapter 5, earthly 10 and heavenly 10 is following by his belief, right? Then what? Then what after chapter 5? Reconciliation of missionary, right? Reconciliation of missionary. And then chapter 6, not be blamed of this missionary, right? And then again, followed by chapter 6 to chapter 7, verse 4, is that in this missionary, our heart is open, our mouth is open. Okay? please read it through and to see if you agree or you do not. It's okay, you choose to disagree. But again, you got to give us the homework. How do you divide it post-missionary? And then later on you know that, oh, okay, I understand what he's talking about concerning his missionary. Yeah, his attitude, the characteristics, yeah, and the reconciliation and the open-minded, yeah. Okay? Any questions so far? Any question? Homework. Please read your structure, the slides. Chapter 8 to chapter 9 is concerning offering. And then homework is that you subdivide it. What is offering? How do you believe that these two chapters talk about offering? I want to share with you why I believe these two chapters is offering. Actually, chapter 1, verse 8 to 1, talk about the example, the offering of Macedonian church as a good example. A good example of Macedonian church. They do wonderful job in their offering, right? Read chapter 8, verse 1 and 2. Chapter 8, verse 1 and 2. Grace from Irvine.
Verse 1, Moreover, brethren, we make known to you the grace of God bestowed on the churches of Macedonia, 2, that in a great trial of affliction to the abundance of their joy and their deep poverty abounded in the riches of their liberality.
Yeah. 他们受大患难试炼的时候，还显出他们乐捐的厚恩。They show their great rich generosity in their tribulation. They offer gladly in their difficulties. When they are in poverty, they still do that. So Corinthian church, you should learn from the good example of Macedonian church. And this is from verse 1 to verse 8, right? Grace, can you read verse 8? Chapter 8, verse 8.
I speak not by commandment, but I am testing the sincerity of your love by the diligence of others.
Yeah. Test your love by the zeal of others. Who is the others? Macedonian, right? Macedonian is so zealous in offering, and we want to see if your love can be the same like Macedonian church, okay? So this chapter 8, verse 1 to 8, the good example of Macedonian church. Chapter 8, verse 9, verse 9 to verse 15, this talk about why do we offer? Why do we make offering? For 3 reasons. Number 1, Jesus Christ make offering. Number 2, Jesus will be very happy about your offering. Number 3, it is for equality of members. Therefore, we need to do offering. So from verse 9 to verse 15, he offered 3 reasons to make offering, right? 3 reasons to make offering. Chapter 9, this verse 9 to verse 15. Let's read chapter 9, verse 9. Chapter 9, verse 9. Annabelle, can you read 9?
Chapter 9, verse 9. As it is written, he has dispersed abroad, he has given to the poor, his righteousness endures forever.
Yeah, Jesus, he was rich, become poor for you, so you can be rich. So Jesus offered himself, make you rich. Therefore, this is a good example of Jesus. And Jesus will be pleased when you make offering. Annabelle, read chapter 8, verse 12.
Chapter 8, verse 12. For if there is first a willing mind, it is accepted according to what one has and not according to what he does not have.
He will be accepted. 他会蒙悦纳. You will be accepted by our Lord Jesus Christ. And you offer according to what you have, not according to what you do not have anyway. And for equality, Annabelle, please read verse 15.
Chapter 8, verse 15. As it is written, he who gathered much had nothing left over, and he who gathered little had no lack.
Yes. 14 says that for equality. Verse 14. Annabelle.
14. But by an equality that now at this time.
For equality, right? Those who have more, 没有余, do not have, those who have more do not have what, Annabelle? Those who have more do not have what? Those are lacking do not have what, Annabelle? Verse 15, read it again.
He who gathered much had nothing left over. He who gathered little had no
lack. Those have more have nothing left over. And those have nothing what? It's not like anything, right?
Yeah.
Annabelle?
Yeah.
Yes. This is for equality. We talk about 3 reasons why you need to offer from verse 9 to verse 15. And from verse 16 to verse 24, talk about messengers involved in this offering. Paul sent people to Corinthian church concerning the missionary of offering. By the way, offering in chapter 8 is also a missionary. We'll talk about it later on, okay? Now, verse 16 to verse 24 mention 2 brothers without name and 1 worker. They all got involved with offering. Let's read verse 19. Verse 19, chapter 8, verse 19. Sophia, would you please read? Chapter 8, verse 19.
19. And not only that, but who was also chosen by the churches to travel with us with this gift, which is administered by us to the glory of the Lord himself, and to show your ready mind.
Yes, 教会挑选与我们同行，把所托给我们的先知送到了。So there are some offering from Macedonian church or from other churches. Some people got to take care of this missionary. So we, referring to Titus, if you read from verse 16, refers to Titus and Paul, and they are 2 brethren who are not named over here, but they are tested that they have credit, right? They have credit. Sophia, verse 23.
If anyone inquires about Titus, he is my partner and fellow worker concerning you. Or if our brethren are inquired about, they are messengers of the churches, the glory of Christ.
They are the other 2 brothers. They are the messenger of churches. They are glory of God. So they have good reputation. So basically, verse 16 to verse 24 talk about the people involved to take care of the missionary offering got to have good reputation. Like your financial affair got to have good reputation. Okay? So this is the messengers involved in the offering. Chapter 9, verse 1 to 5. Here talk about Corinthian church, you shall fulfill your hearts of offering. You promised to offer, you did not offer yet. You shall fulfill your hearts of offering. That is chapter 9, verse 1 to 5. Can someone read verse 2? That Hosea Chen from Pacifica Church, chapter 9, verse 2.
Yes, chapter 9, verse 2. For I know your willingness, about which I boast of you to the Macedonians, that Achaia was ready a year ago, and your zeal has stirred up the majority.
Yeah. 你们乐意的心，我常常夸奖你们。I always boast about your zealous heart. And you have been prepared for 1 year. 你们想要奉献，都讲了1年了，都还没有奉献。You have been talking about offering to church, but for 1 year, for more than a year, but you did nothing about it, right? So please, I send over people to help you so you can get ready when we come to you, right? Hosea, please read verse 5.
Verse 5, therefore I necessary to exhort the brethren to go to you ahead of time and prepare your generous gift beforehand, which you had previously promised, that it may be ready as a matter of generosity and not as a grudging obligation.
Yeah, the offering should not be grudging. You promised it, you like to do it, but you fail to do it. I send people to you so you can be well prepared, and then you can do it. So this is from chapter 9, verse 1 to 5. So Corinthian church, fulfill your hearts of offering. Now, the rest of the verses from verse 6 to verse 15, this is the blessing, the benefits of offering, right? Or maybe we should say concepts of offering. Concepts of offering, there are two concepts. One is that you can receive blessing. The other is that you should give with a cheerful heart, right? Yeah, there are concepts of blessings from verse 6 to 15. I don't think I should spend time because we only have 10 hours, and I just want to make sure you know that verse 8 and chapter 8 and chapter 9 have to do with offering. Okay. We talk about example of Macedonian church. We talk about why do we offer. We talk about messengers offering. This is chapter 8, right? Chapter 9 talk about fulfill your hearts of offering, and then the rest of it, other concepts of offering, because you talk about what's your attitude when you offer, what kind of blessings you have when you offer, right? All have to do with offering. And results of offering. Actually, this is the rest of the chapter 9, right? Okay, and then chapter 10 to chapter 13. This is Paul's defense. The tone is quite strong. We mentioned it already. Again, why he need to defend for his own missionary? Let's read chapter 10, verse 10. Chapter 10, verse 10. Jordan, I think you're underage for this class, right? Are you? Are you underage for this class?
No, I just turned 18.
Oh, really? Wow, you are you grew up already. Thank God.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Chapter 11. No, what did I say? Oh, chapter 10, sorry. Chapter 10, verse 10.
Okay, chapter 10, verse 10. For his letters, they say, are weighty and powerful, but his bodily presence is weak, and his speech contemptible.
So you can see that some people detested Paul. 你的信又沉重又厉害. Your letter was very heavy, powerful. Yet when you look, your countenance and your words are not very good, right? They detested him, right? So again, Paul tried to defend for his missionary. Huh? So from verse 1 to verse 11, chapter 10, he talked about he has authority, right? But his authority is for edification, not for destruction, right? Jordan, please read chapter 10, verse 8.
Chapter 10, verse 8. For even if I should boast somewhat more about our authority, which the Lord gave us for edification and not for your destruction, I shall not be ashamed.
Yeah. I am an apostle. I have God-given authority. Even though some of you do not think so, but I'm going to tell you I am. And this authority from God, this apostleship from God, is to edify you, is not to destroy you. Okay? So we will go into the detail, but again, this talk about his defense of his apostleship. And then from verse 12 to verse 18, Paul tried to compare himself with other quote-unquote super apostle. Super apostle they commend themselves. But Paul says that it's not going to work if you commend yourself. Okay? Paul says that not he who commends himself is approved, but his commend should be from God. You talk about you are apostle, you are good, you are wonderful, but this may not be approved by God. Okay? Let's read. This is from 12 to 18, right? Let's read verse 18, chapter 10, verse 18. Rebecca from Queens. Rebecca?
Yeah. 18. I urged Titus and sent our brother with him. Did Titus take advantage of you? Did we not walk in the same spirit? Did we not walk in
I'm sorry, chapter 10, 2 Corinthians, chapter 10, 18.
10, 18?
10, 18.
18. For not he who commends himself is approved, but whom the Lord commends.
Yes. No. Why you commend yourself, right? Verse 12, Rebecca, verse 12, chapter 10, verse 12.
12. For we dare not class ourselves or compare ourselves with those who commend themselves, but they, measuring themselves by themselves and comparing themselves among themselves, are not wise.
This is not wise. Why do you commend yourself? Measure yourself, compare yourself. You know, not he who commend himself is approved. So this is from verse 12 to verse 18. 这是框框理论 right? 在一个框框里面 from command to command. So Paul talk about Paul defends for his missionary, and he says that why do you commend yourself? We shall be commended by our Lord, right? And then chapter 11, verse 1 to 15. Basically, he's trying to say that he's not any worse than the super apostle, quote unquote super apostle, right? And the super apostle, if they want to boast of anything, their boast should be only equal with us. So again, Paul tried to compare himself with super apostle, and he says that this is foolish to do it. But Paul says that please bear with me in this little fooling that I have, because I'm going to compare myself with the super apostle. This is from, when I say super apostle, this is some apostle who call them apostle and who disagree with Paul's apostleship. Okay? Let's read chapter 11, verse 1. 11 verse 1, Rebecca Chang from Washington. 11 verse 1.
1. Oh, that you would bear with me in a little folly, and indeed you do bear with me.
Yes, please bear with me. Bear with me in a little folly. You know, it's foolish to boast about myself, but you know what? I am forced. What can I do? You don't think I'm a TJC preacher. What can I do? Rebecca, what can I do? You do not think I'm a TJC preacher. What do I do, Rebecca? Chen. I stayed in your house before. You think I'm a TJC preacher, I believe. But if you do not believe that I'm a TJC preacher, what do I do, Rebecca?
Sure.
Rebecca, what do I do? If I do not believe you are a sister in the TJC, what do you do, Rebecca? I do not believe you are baptized in TJC. What do you do, Rebecca? Hello?
I don't know.
You have two choices, right? I don't care, right? But if you care, you got to defend for yourself, right? You show your baptism certificate. You ask people to call your father, yeah? What do you think? Anyway, yeah. So people do not believe Paul was apostle. Verse 5, Rebecca, please read chapter 11, verse 5.
Okay, verse 5. For I consider that I am not at all inferior to the most eminent apostles.
Verse 6.
6. Even though I am untrained in speech, yet I am not in knowledge, but we have been thoroughly manifested among you in all things.
Yeah. So, yeah, again, 1 to 15, verse 1 to verse 15, he tried to tell members to bear with him with a little bear with me in a little folly, because he want to compare himself with the, you say, element apostle, 最大的使徒. Some translation say super apostle. Those super apostle, who are they? Rebecca, read verse 13. Rebecca, verse 13, 11, 13.
13. For such are false apostles,
False apostle. What did they do? Continue.
Deceitful workers, transforming themselves into apostles of Christ.
Okay. They are not true apostle. Okay. So again, verse 1 to 15, Paul's defense for his apostleship. Compare himself with the super apostle. Now, verse 16 to 33, again, he continued his reluctant boasting. He boasts his suffering. He boasts his status. Yeah, again, this is boasting, right? Let's change another one. Another Rebecca from Philadelphia. Rebecca Lynn, I think it's from Miami. Oh, no. This is a PMVP. This is PMVP, Rebecca Lynn from Miami. Benjamin Chow from Phoenix. Please read 11 verse 16.
Verse 16. I say again, let no man think me a fool, if otherwise, yet as a fool receive me, that I may boast myself a little.
17.
Verse 17. That which I speak it not after the Lord, but as if it were foolishly, in this confidence of boasting.
18.
Verse 18. Seeing that many glory after the flesh, I will also glory.
Yeah, the false apostle, super apostle, glory in their flesh. I want to continue compare myself with those super apostles. Why do we separate these two groups? Verse 1 to 15, bear with me in a little folly. And then 16 to 33, reluctant boasting. Why do we need to separate it? You don't need to. Maybe you want to say verse 1 to verse 33 is boasting and boasting and boasting. And the reason why I separate it because their comparison is a little bit different. The later part is more about his suffering, and his status, or his suffering and his status. More have to do with suffering. How many times he got rotted, got stoned, and shipwreck, what kind of suffering he has, right? Okay, this is conclude chapter 11. Chapter 12, verse 1 to 13. Again, he defends that he's apostle. He want to prove he's apostle. And verse 1 to 13, he says that he had visions and revelations. Let's read that he want to prove that he's apostle first. Chapter 12, verse 11. Ariel, Lao, Phoenix. 12:11.
Verse 11, I have become a fool in boasting, you have compelled me.
I'm sorry. Verse 12. Chapter 12, verse 12. I'm sorry.
Verse 12, truly the signs of an apostle were accomplished among you with all perseverance in signs and wonders and mighty deeds.
So he used three ways to prove that he's apostle. Number one, 百般的忍耐. Ariel, how do you say 百般的忍耐 in English? Ariel, 百般的忍耐. Verse 12.
Perseverance.
Read it again.
Truly, the signs of an apostle were accomplished among you with all perseverance and signs and wonders
all
and mighty deeds.
perseverance, right? 百般的忍耐证明 all perseverance. And then number 2, 借着神机骑士异能 What is it, Ariel? Interpret. 神机骑士异能
Wonders and mighty deeds.
Yes, wondering and mighty deeds. That's how he approved that. That's how he defends that, approved that, defends that he's an apostle by all perseverance and wonders and mighty deeds. So verse 1 to verse 13 talk about wonders and mighty deeds from the Lord, visions and revelations. What kind of vision he has? Ariel, read verse 2.
Chapter 12,
Yeah.
verse 2. I know a man in Christ who 14 years ago, whether in the body I do not know, or whether out of the body I do not know. God knows such one was caught up to the third heaven.
Okay, so he had a vision of third heaven. And he had a revelation when he was a thorn in his body. Please read verse 7, 12:7, Ariel.
Verse 7. Unless I should be exalted above measure by the abundance of the revelations, a thorn in the flesh was given to me, a messenger of
He had
Satan.
abundance of revelation. I have a revelation, and Jesus even talked to me. Verse 9, Ariel.
Verse 9. And he said to me, my grace is sufficient for you.
Okay. Now, if you read 红字版的圣经 red color Bible, he said to me, my grace is sufficient. This is in red color, meaning that it's spoken by Jesus. So how many times has Jesus spoken to Paul? How many visions he had? This all defend that these wonders and miracle is to prove that he's apostle. I just talked to Rebecca Chan, right? Rebecca Chan. How do I prove that I'm a TJC member? According to verse 12. I'm sorry. How do I prove that I'm TJC pastor? Rebecca Chan, according to verse 12. Rebecca.
I don't know. Sorry.
Huh?
I don't know.
You read 12 again. 12 again. Read it again.
Chapter 11, right?
12.
Sorry.
Okay, maybe Ariel help. Ariel, how do I prove to you that I'm an apostle?
By showing God's wonders or by testifying God's wonders and mighty deeds and showing perseverance.
Yeah, probably. Maybe not me, but probably I would share that this is no good. I'm not going to share it because you do not think that I'm not a TJC pastor. But you acknowledge me as a TJC pastor. But if you do not acknowledge me, people can say, or if you do not acknowledge that person might say, look at all my perseverance, all my efforts, all my suffering, all my wonders and deeds that Jesus has carried out through my hands. This could be one of the ways, right? Again, this is defense, right? Visions and revelations from verse 1 to verse 13. And then from verse 14 to chapter 3, verse 4, Paul talk about his, he will go to them at the third time, okay? Chapter 12, verse 14, 12:14. Then we have Jean from Raleigh, Jean Lin, 12:14.
14. Now for the third time I am ready to come to you, and I will not be burdensome to you, for I do not seek yours but you. For the children ought not to lay up for the parents, but the parents for the children.
Okay, so I'm going to go to visit you the third time, and I'm going to be like a father to you. I'm not going to burdensome you, just like what I did in the previous time. I did not receive any offering from you guys for myself, right? Chapter 13, verse 1, Jean. Chapter 13, verse 1.
13, verse 1. This will be the third time I am coming to you. By the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses, every word shall be established.
So the third time when I come, I'm not going to spare. Verse 3. Jean.
3. Since you seek a proof of Christ speaking in me, who is not weak toward you, but mighty in you.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I should ask you to read verse 2. I'm sorry. Verse 2.
2. I have told you before in foretell as if I were present the second time, and now being absent, I write to you, those who have sinned before, and to all the rest, that if I come again, I will not spare.
我第三次到你那边不再宽容的哦 I will not spare anymore 哦 Remember chapter 2, right? He talked about his why did he change schedule? The major reason is that I want to spare you. Spare you. That word spare can be translated cherish. I cherish you. 我珍惜你们。我想去的时候，大家不要脸都很难看啊。我很难看，你很难看。I do not want to go with a very sad face. You have sad face, I have sad face, right? I want to delay my schedule because I want to spare you. Now I'm going to come the third time. I am not going to spare anymore. Please repent, right? Please repent. So, and the rest of it, chapter 13, talk about he want to exercise his authority, right? He will rebuke the sinner. He is going to edify those who repent. And then he has final encouragement, right? Let's read the rest of it. Chapter 13, verse 10. Ivan, Phoenix, Young.
Chapter 13, verse 10. Therefore I write these things being absent, lest being present I should use sharpness, according to the authority which the Lord has given me for edification and not for destruction.
Again, he mentioned about his authority is for edification, it's not for destruction. So I conclude my, I'm sorry, I spent almost 2 hours to talk about the structure. Why? Because personally, I believe it is very, very important. This is for you to know the whole books. I hope at least you get an idea. Let's come back to the structure on your screen, on the show. So verse 1 to verse 2 is greeting. And then 3 to 11 from chapter 1 is suffering and comfort. And then he talk about why he changed his schedule. And then in between, he talk about his missionary. Now, what is the uniqueness about his missionary? Come with aroma. He compare missionary in the Old Testament versus New Testament. He talk about his attitude of his missionary. What is his attitude? His attitude is that we have this wonderful stewardship, therefore we are not timid. We have hope, therefore we are bold. We believe, therefore we speak. That is chapter 4, right? And chapter 5 talk about earthly 10 and heavenly 10 because it talk about resurrection. And then we talk about missionary of reconciliation. Chapter 5, the rest of the chapter, right? And chapter 6, the missionary shall not be blamed. And then the rest of the chapter 6 and chapter 7 talk about我们是口宽心红的. We speak openly. Yeah, you should not associate with the unbeliever. And then chapter 8 to 9 talk about offering, right? Now you think about all the details about offering, right? Good example of offering from Macedonia church. Why do we offer? Because Jesus offered himself, because it is acceptable, because for equality. Yeah, this is why we're offering, right? And then talk about the personnel of offering, including Paul, Titus, 2 people with good reputation. And he talk about Corinthian church, chapter 9, you shall fulfill heart of offering. I send people to you, so you should be well prepared, right? Then the rest of it talk about concepts offering, and then results, blessings, results of offering. That's chapter 8 and chapter 9. And chapter 10 and chapter 13, Paul's defense, right? Now, why he need to defense? Because again, from the contents, you can see that they are super apostles, right? From chapter 10 to chapter 13, at the beginning of chapter 10, he talk about authority is for edification, not for destruction. At the end of chapter 13, he talk about authority is for edification, is not for destruction. So you can see that chapter 10 to chapter 13 is a unit. And in between, he really compared himself with the quote unquote super apostle. He really boast, in two portions, really, he boast. He proof, especially verse 12. Why I'm apostle? I have visions, I have revelations, right? And yeah, that's all about 2 Corinthians. Okay, I hope you got a overall idea. Now again, what is your homework? Do you remember your homework? Sophia, what is your homework? And I know Sophia take good notes. What is your homework?
To write a detailed structure of chapter 2 verse 14 to chapter 7 verse 4, and then also to talk about the offerings in chapter 8 and 9.
Detailed structure, right? And then?
And the offerings in chapters 8 and 9.
And then?
So look at the Google map and search for Corinth.
Yes, and also chapter 10 to 13 about Paul's defense, right? How he defend himself. Again, you can have your own structure as long as you remember it, or you can reference my structure. So I give a very detailed. I spend 2 hours on the structure, and I hope when you pray, you can meditate these books from chapter 1 to chapter 13. For example, I just mentioned about his missionary, right? You meditate what is missionary. His offering, you meditate what is his offering. You meditate his defense. How did he defend for himself, right? And again, when you meditate, it's really, it have to do with your structure, Any question? If not, I'm going to, we can get rid of these slides. I'm going to go to details. Again, I'm sorry because I don't think I'm able to finish the whole books. But we are going to see. We just saw the overview, bird eyes view, the forest. We are going to go to see tree after tree. If we go to see tree after tree, I don't think I'm able to finish. I will try. I will try my best. I don't know. God help me if I can only share the most important part. I don't know. But yeah, let's go to tree after tree, right? Go to details. Let's turn back to chapter 1. Let's turn back to suffering and comforts. This is chapter 1, verse 3 to verse 11. Now I want you to read very, very slowly. Someone read slowly. And then I want to ask you what 3 points you learned about comforts and suffering. What are the 3 points you learned from this paragraph concerning suffering and comforting? I need someone to read loud and slowly. Loud and slowly. Lily, I think Lily read loud and slowly. Lily from Toronto. But chapter 1, verse 3, read up to verse 7, 3 to 7. 3 to 7. And after that, I will ask you, name 3 things you learned over here concerning suffering and comforting. Lily, please read slowly.
Pastor Huang, class.
Time is up.
Yes.
Hello， 时间到了是吧？
对。
我不是到3点啊，不是到3点吗
？50分。
到50分了，才40分而已啊。Are you sure? Only 40 minutes?
We started at 2.
Oh, yeah, you are right. Oh, my bad. Sorry. Thank you for telling me. OK， 对不起，占用你们的时间。Terribly sorry. Accept my apology. Let's pray in silence. Amen. Sorry.
It's okay.
Bye.
We'll ask everyone to stay because we have some announcements. Sorry, Lily, you can read next time.